Hey everyone, it is the Angry Honey Badger here, and it is time for patch notes. And with me, of course, is bonus content Kai. How you doing, Kai?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Oh, living the dream.
Living the dream, hating intros.
Day.
Day.
This is patch notes. Me and Kyle are going to go over the patch notes together. We're going to tell you what is important, what's the big changes, what are the little changes, what you shouldn't worry about, and what you should probably never play again. So,
Cosmics.
6, yeah, a little bit. So, we'll get to that in a second, though, and we'll discuss about it, and yeah, let you know what's going on. So, let's jump into the patch notes. By jumping into the patch notes. First off, we have the visual updates portion, and this is actually Karthus. He has received a visual update and is ready to start murdering everyone with his ultimate. In general,
Good.
yeah, pretty much. Team color indicators added to basic abilities in general. His Q is lay waste. They added a new indicator that shows the full area of effect. Swag added crit style combat text and a unique sound effect for double damage Qs. And then on his wall of pain, the clarity added a visual debuff effect that marks the affected enemy champions. So those are just some general tweaks that they added
Visuals.
apart to his visual rework, which if you haven't seen it, it looks really awesome. So this is one of the the Twitch one was good.
Statue of Karthus is easily my favorite skin now.
Yeah, it's better. I have Pentakill Karthus actually.
I have that one as well.
Way back in the day when it was on sale. But yeah, everything just looks better. His generic, his normal skin is just cool. He just looks better. So I might start playing around with him again. I've actually been meaning to, because it's Karthus. I've always enjoyed him. He's different, and he's an old school champ.
Is OP.
Yeah, early game it doesn't do that much, but yeah, he's an old school throwback champion, and I like some of the old ones. I think they're fun. So that's Karthus. Go play his rework. It's fun. But the first
things that we knew were coming.
The things that we knew, and I've been tweeting about him for days, because come on.
Because he's broken.
Highest win rate, highest ban rate. 2 weeks out.
Whoa. Diamond Malzahar is the highest ban rate or win rate. Let's give him credit.
I'm just saying overall in general, this is all servers, all divisions. So, all servers, all divisions. I don't pull numbers from individual things because I'm
dumb.
Because I'm way too lazy. So Braum, first up, is his passive. Actually, in general, his basic attack damage is actually being decreased by 3 attack damage. It's going to be 53 now instead of 56 at level 1. And then passively, concussive blows, bug fix on that, no longer stuns individuals when they have spell shields up, which is good. And then on Winner's Bite, here's a big one. The base damage of that is going to be 20, or it's less at each rank, so 20 less off of that. So instead of starting at 80 and going to 260, it starts at 60, only goes to 240. So a little bit of damage coming off that. Then on his W, which is his stand behind me, the bonus armor and magic resist on that, instead of it going from 20 to 30, and then it being that percentage from 14 to 20, it's actually only 15 to 25 now, and the bonuses are 10 to 16. So overall, the percentages and just the bonuses from that are coming down. And then on his Unbreakable, they've cleaned up a few cases where certain effects could bypass Unbreakable's active barrier, which is, bug fix. So that's good that they did that. Now, overall, this is a nerf, but it was super necessary, as we just talked about, highest win rate and highest ban rate. So, yeah, I'm content.
I kind of wish that they would have done one or the other, either like stop the scaling of W or brought down the bases, like just to start out with, and then if it wasn't enough, you could always nerf it again.
I can see that making sense. Start with one or the other.
But
I don't think that's a problem. I don't think people are
good.
maxing that or were maxing it.
Well, I max Unbreakable second, and actually that bug fix is going to help them a lot, I actually think. But the Q damage going down by that much, if you get hit by a Q, it's not going to be half your life anymore. So
yeah, it's coming down a little bit. It's not a ton. That's just the
20
base.
damage when you're like level 1 is a lot.
20 damage at level 1, I agree, is a lot. I mean, later on, it's not a huge nerf. But yeah, the problems I found with him, at least when I felt overpowered playing him, was Not just because of Winter's Bite, but that was a big part of it. Because if I could tag somebody with it to get them with the slow and take a chunk of their life away, I'd run up to them and then I'd stun them because they were slowed. I'd get my passive off. And then when they go to run away, which happened when I was playing against an Italy, I hit her with another one for another 250 damage. She was dead. I mean...
But you gotta think, none of the slowing that you talked about has been changed at all. So he's still going to be the CC bot that he is, and he still has essentially the same kit. It's just not... Because I actually think that, now that I think about it, the W nerfs to, like, the champion that you're shielding isn't that big of a deal. It's more of a big deal to Braum himself.
Yeah, it was beefing up too many people, too many allies.
Just, like, him in general, because, like, you're going to jump to someone and then put up your shield, and, like, they're not going to get hit anyway because his E is dumb.
Yeah.
So
it's cool,
I feel like he's still going to be really strong.
Yeah, he's still going to be fine. I know a lot of people complain about his ultimate and how it slows too much. I don't think that's a huge issue, honestly.
Don't walk on it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Move out of the way.
Yeah, I think this is a good start. We'll see what happens next. I'm not sure we'll see the end of it, but his base damage coming down on standard attacks actually probably helps a little bit too, because when he is standard attacking to get his passive to go off, I mean, that's damage over time that he's dealing.
Since he has a rotatable stun with his passive being able to stack more, either they need to make his passive only hit one person at a time, or take away his slow, because he has too many. Yeah, it's like he has alt.
You can tag a whole team, and then
and you're like, it's just a little.
It's really interesting. I agree.
Still out of the.
He does have a few counters against him in lanes, and people have finally figured out a few ways to play against him. I do agree with that. So. But
Zyra's been picked back up.
Yeah, well, yeah, and she's the queen of disengage, and I will always praise Zyra regardless, but everybody knows it's one of my favorites. So, but I know in LCS they claim that she doesn't initiate well, but anywhere outside the LCS, she can initiate well because teamwork's just not a thing in comparison to how it is in LCS. So she does work on an initiation standpoint, but even better than that, if anybody has a dive-heavy team, which Braum is considered kind of dive, because he jumps to partners in battle, and he's going to be shielding, and he can charge forward with that, let alone he'll be slowing you, they'll be closing. She's a great counter to Braum because she cuts it off whenever she throws that ultimate down, stops a whole enemy team because it's as wide as the whole lane. So
I'd like to see a Braum Yasuo bot lane. Because you have the knock-up assistance from the ultimate, and then you also
you get gap close so
Yasuo
easy.
And Braum are so
Even pre-6, Yasuo can just dash to target. He'll jump to Yasuo. They'll get the tagged stun. He probably would have let off anyways with a Winter's Bite getting the slow on him. They'll stun him, and they'll do so much passive damage between the two. They'll get kills. I know me and you did it in a game. I was going to make a Yasuo game. I don't know if I'm going to make that video actually a video, but you were Braum and I was Yasuo, and you're alt, so it's another one of those easy ones for Yasuo to get super easy ults off. So, yeah, that would be an interesting bot lane. We'll have to try it sometime. But those are the changes to Braum. Necessary. Is it the end of them? I'm not sure it is, but we'll see probably over the next patch or so. They'll let this one sit for a little bit. We'll see what happens to his win rates and his loss rates.
Is he going to be available in LCS next week?
He is available in the LCS next week. Yes, he
is. 100% ban.
He will probably be a 100% ban.
Because they play on the previous patch.
They would so he would be strong as fuck.
Yeah. So.
To put it lightly, sorry.
Is Rengar going to be available in this coming week? Because he wasn't available.
He was globally disabled. I don't know if that's just...
Did you see the video at TSM cheering when they found out?
No, wait, what?
They got a notification from Riot that Rengar was going to be banned, and they all burst out into cheering.
Rengar's still broken, so...
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to that coming up. But next on our list, we have Kassadin. Next thing happening here, what we have going on, just some general stuff, his base movement speed is going to be taken down by 10, and then on his W is Netherblade. The base damage on that starts the same, doesn't scale up as high, and the ability power ratio on it is being reduced a little bit. I thought the last patch actually put him in a decent spot. I'm not saying this is going to ruin him, but this is a little bit of a nerf. He might be fine, though, now. I don't know. People are still figuring out his new kit a little bit, but I think he's actually in an acceptable place.
I think that his mid and late game are stronger than Kassadin's was before they changed him. It's just his mid game that he kind of hovers there. You won't see any like Rod of the Ages, Seraph's Embrace Kassadin's anymore. But if you can get that early peak and take it into late game,
Then you're always
Kassadin
ahead.
right now, in my opinion, is just
Like Rengar.
ridiculous, like God mode. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Hopefully
we'll see. I mean, this
that's why
isn't-
they're kind of nerfing him, I think, because
Yeah.
he's still kind of ridiculous.
Although he isn't a constant ban anymore. So
Oh yeah, no.
next is changes to Kha'Zix. Quite a few happening here. Me and you are going to disagrry on this probably, which is good. It'll give people perspective.
Perspective.
All right, first off, there's so much to talk about. Is Q taste their feels, as I call it. Taste their fear. I said it in the build video. I said taste their feels. Base damage on it is being reduced all over the board. Base damage at level 1 and all of its scaling, and its scaling attack damage. Everything's being nerfed here.
And isolation boast.
And the isolation is coming down 15% as
so
well.
don't get cute.
So don't get Q. And then on his Q evolved, basically this has new isolation. If target is isolated, you deal an additional amount of damage plus then 1.04 bonus attack damage, physical damage, blah blah blah. In other words, times 10 the champion level, and then you get the bonus damage. So based off champion level. So basically, so it can't do too much damage early based off champion level.
Yeah, that's.
Which kind of makes sense, but this is them trying something. But let's face it, they've been just trying something with him for a while now. His nerfs up and down and up and back and forth. Some of them have been crazy buffs too. So they keep trying things with Kha'Zix. So at least they're trying things. I'll give
Well,
them
I thought the active camo thing, the damage reduction, would put him into place, and all it did was make him more OP.
Yeah,
so
it was ridiculous. Okay, so then on Void Spike, it now does 20% damage to monsters. This will help with clearing. In the jungle. The Evolve Spikes, same thing, 20% more damage to the monsters. If a target champion is hit, though, you gain sight of their location for 2 seconds. Also, its slow is not 30% for 2 seconds, it's 50% for 2 seconds. So this is actually a buff to W. But W in the past had been nerfed. This you can't say that this isn't a buff. Look, it's adding things and it's making the slow better. It's a buff to its W, okay?
But you're taking all of the damage and all of the utility away from the other abilities.
I agree.
Except for jumps like Leap Strike or Leap or whatever.
Well, here's what they've been trying to deal with on Kha'Zix is they want it so you have a legitimate choice personally on what path you want to take when it comes to evolving. Every single time they've nerfed or buffed something, they've made something completely worthless, and so you wouldn't evolve it. There was one point where you wouldn't ever evolve your Q. There was one point where you'd only evolve your W first for sure. Then there was the point now where you'd evolve your ultimate right away. So,
but that's gonna be people are gonna find out like
which works better. It needs to be situational.
Right now, no. Right now, the way that they're like nerfing him like all across the board and trying to make it like that, they're gonna make him into like Scion where no one plays him.
No one can be made into Scion.
People won't choose one individual skill to level up because no one will play him.
If it makes you happy they didn't touch his E.
Well, his E wasn't a problem because they already nerfed it into the ground. Like, the E was only good for the mobility and the reset.
Which is what
it wasn't good
be.
for def. Yeah,
because that's the best part of it. All right, and then finally on his evolved active camouflage, they've removed the damage reduction. No longer get 60% damage reduction on stealth.
Dumb. They already nerfed this ability.
Which I can agree is dumb. I understand parts of it, but not all of it. I maybe cut it in half or something. But he gets. I mean, he's an assassin that can sneak in, and he was able to tank things. Like I understood where they were coming from on it. Like he was legitimately tanking. 60% damage reduction is a lot. Somebody hits you for 500.
Only when he's invisible.
I know, but they increased the duration on his invisibility though.
To like 1 sec or like 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
1.5 or
he
something.
He can sneak in and murder somebody and run out without any
invisible.
consequence. I'm just saying.
Power diving.
Whatever. I mean, it's not that I hate Kha'Zix.
I think that Kha'Zix will not be played at all anymore. Like
he was one of the strongest champions in the game.
I'm not talking else. I agree that it's time for him to see like a backseat and let some other champions come that like couldn't be played because of Kha'Zix. But like this is a little like I might just be overreacting, but this is pretty much all of his damage from his Q because the whole point of your leap is to get to that lowest health champion so you get that extra damage based on how much health they're missing.
I'm going to put this out there. I don't know if it'll make sense to you or not. We'll see. Kha'Zix lately has been building, 2 damage items and getting the job done fine, and then goes tank, pretty much.
Yeah.
Not a lot of other junglers do that. Let alone...
At least does that.
But that are assassins. The same way... The same way Kha'Zix assassinates people.
Junglers.
I agree, there's not a ton. But there's not a lot that can actually go in and deal with someone on the back line like that and get out. The only one I can think of that can get 2 items and do that only has one way into a fight and is pretty terrible late game, and his name's Zhao.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they're trying to... I understand your concerns. I completely see that this is a huge nerf, but I think part of this is justified. I think they'll probably buff some stuff coming up. So that's why I'm not also concerned with this staying this way. So
Jax can do that when he jungles, but he's not a good jungler.
Yeah, he's not an amazing jungler.
Pantheon can do that.
Pantheon's been seeing tweaks, and they're working on a mini rework for him right now. So
Vi can do that. You get Spirit of the Lizard Elder, Trinity Force gonna kill anybody that you touch.
You hurt, but you don't assassin the same way, and you also, I mean, you're kind of forced to be a tank though at the same time because of how your kit is made. But
because you don't have 60% damage reduction.
Yeah, you don't have 60% damage reduction. Yeah, 60%, man, 60%.
You said W was a buff, and it is, but it's not because it only is like monster damage. Like when you jump into a fight,
I know, I agree.
Will do no more damage.
I agree, but also if you get the utility on it from the evolved W, if you end up doing that, I'm sorry, vision isn't a terrible thing.
They're trying to make him a CC bot, or what? Like
I don't know. You can check Bush with it, and then you can be like, "Oh, hey, look, it's a squishy, blah blah blah. Jump in, kill." I mean, instead of
jump in and do no damage because your Q's.
Oh, you're fine. Build another damage item and get over it.
Ah, God, he's so bad now.
You're fine. You haven't played it. It's not live yet.
He's so bad now.
Next, Pantheon, Grand Skyfall. Also, a new manly jumping, as they call it. Pantheon now pops projectiles that are in flight towards him as he leaps off the screen. And then there was a bug fix where he is now untargetable from the moment he leaves the ground to the moment he lands.
Were people like dying?
I don't
because of a skill shot?
I don't know.
Or something?
Yeah.
Was like Vi going with him when he was going?
I'm coming with you.
Superman.
That'd be hilarious, actually.
Just like coast.
That would be so cool. They should add that, actually.
That'd be hilarious.
It'd be so manly. Or like Zed goes to ult, just ends up somewhere else in the middle of all the damage.
Just like jump into fountain.
Oh god, that'd be great. Yeah. So that's
minor.
So that's your change to the Pantheon. Whatever. Still fine. Rengar. We're very aware of Rengar's champion eating capabilities. We're going to be watching how these changes and bug fixes affect him. Okay, so first, passively, his Unseen Predator. The next attack after leap now correctly happens when he lands, not midway through flight, which
makes sense because he's not there yet.
You're dead, but I'm not there. And
because you could get 2 Qs off before you like you would get 1 Q off in midair and then the other one right when you landed, and you could literally quadra Q. It was dumb.
Yeah, that's way too much. And then on his Q is Savagery. The bonus damage from Savagery and Empowered Savagery can now no longer critically strike. The attack damage portion still can, but itself can. And then bug fix where Empowered Savagery bonus damage could be targeted multiple times using Unseen Predator. So these little tweaks should probably help bring down some of his kind of hidden amazingness, brokenness.
Hidden?
It's not hidden.
Yeah.
Rengar hurts right now if you don't know.
Rengar is a champion where if he was not shut off in LCS, we'd see one in every game.
Or banned.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, they'd probably ban him, I guess.
They'd have to, because even if somebody forced something top, somebody just take him into the jungle and make him work.
Yeah, and there's not, like, I think Renekton is the only
I think his passive's really cool, but I think they need to honestly change his passive.
The jump thing?
Yeah, I think the mechanic in lane becomes an issue.
Because you just like sit in the bush and jump out, and you go back into the bush, and there's like literally no laning presence for you, except there's entire entire lane zoned.
It's a really interesting mechanic that adds a lot to the game, but it's an interesting mechanic that ruins lane. Like, just ruins it.
Yeah, maybe they should make it so
it needs a cooldown.
Yeah,
they should just add a cooldown to it. Yeah. That would so fix it.
But then you couldn't. I guess I don't know. Do you get a refresh on the cooldown when you draw?
Maybe. Yeah, you
like
do.
how long?
Yeah,
is it, I guess maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or maybe like you can't do it in the same bush. That has cooldown, but if it's a different brush or something, because then if he's chasing,
that'd be really tough to.
It'd be interesting, but it's just a mechanic that people would have to learn. But whatever.
Yeah.
That's Rengar. That's all they're doing to him. Not too much. Next, Rumble. Flame Spitter, bug fix. Flames are dealing less damage than Rumble, blah, 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 was set to extended periods of time. Bug fix, where Flame Spitter dealt less damage when on purple team.
Both good changes because he needed it.
Yeah, Rumble's the third
those
least played
changes.
champion right now, which I find interesting since a new skin just came out for him. He's still the third least played champion.
Well, Riot has two ways to get people to play champions: release a new skin or buff them.
That's a major way. Or, as we kind of know right now, AP top laners not in a great place. Current meta.
Well, this should help a lot because if you were like you would see high level Rumble players do it where they would you see them almost circle because it resets this bug that they're fixing. So now that they can just do that, they can just sit there and constantly have it on them. So
better.
It needed to be done a long time ago, but.
And then next, so tweaks to Rumble. I don't know. I still think he's fine, but nobody just.
I think he's pretty weak still, even after the buffs a couple patches ago. But that's just the AP top laner thing.
Yeah, but they've always been that way since the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Soraka next on her Starfall, her Q. If Starcall hits an enemy champion, the blessing cooldown is reduced from 5% to 15% is what it was. Now it's 10% to 15%, so it's just higher up.
Okay.
So you get it's shorter cooldown.
So if you max Star Call, is that levels or is that how many times you hit them with a? Is it if you use
that's the levels
3
you put
Star
in
Calls? It's 10% each time, level 1.
It just.
Or is it just once? I'm not sure. I don't play Soraka support, and I don't use Soraka like that in the mid lane. So
I don't either. Yeah. Well, she's not good in mid lane anymore, which is great. Really, she was stupid there. That wave clear at level 2, so stupid, so dumb. Yeah. I don't really think this is a huge issue.
Yeah, me either.
We'll see. Next, minor bug fixes and changes and things. Bugs fixed on the following champions would occasionally cancel their recall animations. Dinah, Elise, Kha'Zix, Nami.
Happened to me on Nami twice.
Look, another Kha'Zix buff for you.
Yes! Big small things.
We'll take it. Elise.
Thank you, Riot.
Elise, a repel. Bug fixed where the initial cast on repel could not be used on wards. No longer need to cast it twice to descend on a ward.
Nice.
Volibear. Volley buff? Buffy Bear? Anyways. Bug fixed on Volibear's target would not allow him to throw the proper distance. Throws at the end position was inside of a wall or crowd of other units.
Kind of irrelevant. Volibear's just got the same thing as Udyr does. That's wrong with him.
Although, I still think his passive is insanely good.
Well, yeah.
Can be. Nope. Less ignites are being ran these days, too.
Well, yeah, but that's not that big. Because you're going to most of the time just ignore him anyway. He's not going to. The whole thing with Volibear is you can't get to the back lines to flip someone out of position because all you need is one slow, and he's basically useless.
You got to sneak attack him pretty much.
Yeah.
Or catch them while they're really out of
something.
position. Yeah. No, I agree.
So, same thing. Kind of still plagues him. They need to make his Q not slowable, and then it would be awesome.
That would be nuts. I love that idea. Changes to Summoner's Rift. Jungle. Alright, I'll sum this up by the bonus experience. Gosh. Jungle monsters no longer give additional experience based on their level to remain constant with lane minion experience. So, what does this mean for you? Well, multiple things. You have to quit the game and uninstall.
It means that you're never going to be a higher level than the bottom lane.
Pretty much.
Unless you obviously gank and tax the shit out of a lane.
Yeah, or unless you're an insane power jungler. But basically, power jungling won't get you ahead anymore in level.
Because when you were E or something like that, you could just clear jungle like crazy and you would be level 15 when other people are like level 12.
The other thing this might do is counter invading and counter jungling might affect your levels more. So it's important to probably keep your jungle warded or their jungle warded and either steal their buffs or steal their experience, because now that it will no longer give additional experience based on their level, they will fall behind if there's nothing for them to kill. Like, they'll really fall behind.
Yeah.
Or should a little bit, at least. We'll see how this plays out. So
it also puts more pressure on junglers to be in lanes,
which is,
and it also shifts the carrying potential away from the jungle.
This is like another.
It's been there.
This is like another Pharaoh Flare nerf.
it's another Pharaoh Flare nerf, and it's basically a jungle. I think
it's an acorn again.
Well, it's just an acorn because Pharaoh Flare is useless. I think that it'll now be focused back to the mid laner to be most like the majority of the carrying potential, because like this, like in my opinion, this really hurts Cloud9 because Meteos
he's been underperforming the last 2 weeks though.
Yeah, I know, but it hurts him even more because he knew where the other champions were going, like the other junglers were going, and so it was easier for him to get ahead and carry from that position. And now without this bonus experience, he's going to be at the same level as, we'll assume, bottom lane. So he won't be coming into top like a level or two ahead of the top laner or something. So
of the underleveled Inox.
Well, teams with very, very strong junglers will struggle now with like teams that rely on jungle carries.
I don't think that's true. I think you'll see it in their games.
Dignitas, this super helps.
Oh my god.
Because Crumbs is
I love the way he plays jungle. I don't think he's a good jungle. I don't think he's a good player personally. Like, okay, I don't think he's mechanically amazing. I don't also think he's ridiculously smart at his choices, besides his supportive choices he makes for the team as the jungler. Yeah. That I think he does incredibly well. But I've seen him make some crazy bad mistakes.
But this basically puts more focus on the mid laners and the top laners and the AD carries to actually carry the game. And so I guess
there was a power spike though at the middle beginning of the season where junglers were ridiculously overpowered. You saw that one point when we had just constant jungle bans. Nothing else was being banned because junglers were just insane.
Yeah. So well, that's because they banned all the scaling junglers like Elise and
you had to, because they were getting so far ahead. They just run the lane 2 levels ahead and just punch in the face twice.
Kha'Zix, June 4th, 2014. Rip.
Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna ruin. I don't know if this is as big of a change as we're making it out to be. It might not be. Who knows?
I feel like it's a decent sized nerf to the overall jungle experience. You won't be able to just like shred people anymore.
Changes.
But obviously both teams have junglers, so it works both ways. So
there are changes to friend lists.
Ooh, friend list.
Pause the video and read that if you want. Team rewards. They're actually doing some stuff with team rewards in ranked for fun. Yeah. Wards. This is cool.
Yes.
Your ward skin now works on your warding totems.
SKT.
SKT. That's what I'm using right now. So yes. So now more wards will be awesome looking. Skin updates. This is cool actually. Apart from the Karthus Visual update, they have given texture updates to Pentakill Sona and Pentakill Mordekaiser in game.
But Yorick's still like done.
Whatever. Nobody likes Yorick.
Yeah, I know, but man, Mordekaiser looks like a baller.
Dude.
And Sona looks really good too.
Dude, why did you stop? There it is.
Looks like we're playing a little bit of Mordecai, the Huekaiser.
Huekaiser is my favorite champion in the game. So
stop asking, right?
So yeah, Huekaiser. I'm gonna stick with it for now on. I know back in the day it used to float around, but back in the day he was my favorite champion. I understand he's kind of worthless in most comps and almost all over the place, but he's so fun.
Yeah.
And he's stupid. And he is amazing.
A farming machine?
He also is a farming machine, which I also enjoy. The other day, Fizz showed up to lane slightly late from leashing for somebody, and I kept him at 8 farm. He finally hit double-digit farms when I was at 86.
Because you're just like standing between.
Oh god, yeah. I just made him pay.
Then when he was like trying to CS under turret, you were just like, E.
Yeah.
E.
Yeah, he was gonna, yeah, it was amazing. I loved it. I wanted to make that just a video of denial.
You should. Just like poor Fizz.
Yeah, he got shit on. But yeah, those are that's new. Oh, and they're using this splash art screen for all the
Really?
for their new splash arts. Yeah, they're gonna do it like what they do with the SKTs, where they cut.
I actually would. I like the picture, but it's just so cluttered.
It's weird when they cut it. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I can see it working for all of them. Mordekaiser's is a little weird because Sono should be in it.
So is it just gonna be his face?
And the microphone will be in it for him. Yeah, it'll be the upper part. It'll have probably Karthus's hand on the mic over to Sona and probably cut off half of her face.
Actually, they'll probably go down to the pubes.
That'd be a good call if they did. Those pubes. But that is the patch notes.
Wait, we didn't go over Quinn?
Oh, sorry. There's one more. Sorry. Hold on.
She's so bad, but the skin looks so good.
Okay, so new Quinn skin coming out.
Damn.
It actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool, but it won't change the effectiveness of Quinn.
Also true. That ultimate, man. All they had to do is...
Valor to me!
Valor to me! Stephen yells it. God, it's so funny.
Oh, gosh.
God, she's good against Vayne, though.
Yeah, until Vayne gets into until team fighting happens, and then she's just awful.
In lane, yeah, she's great, but outside the lane, she's struggles.
All of the AD carries are good against Vayne in lane. I can't think of one that isn't good against Vayne in lane.
Urgot.
Urgot's not an AD carry. He's like a
piece of shit.
He's like a scion.
He's like a rework waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does rework.
Please.
He's on the list. I don't think he's on the list. Who's on the list?
Check it twice.
It's Scion right now, and who else? Pantheon's on it currently. Somebody else is on it. I think Quinn's on it now. Poppy wants to be on it, but nobody has time to work on her currently. And Urgot kind of gets mentioned, but then everybody kind of goes, Yeah. But that is patch notes 4.9, right?
4.9 in Dubia. It says patch 49 notes, but we're just going to go patch 4.9.
This is 4.9 up there. Yeah, it is patch 4.9. Those are the changes. Leave us a comment down below in the comment section of things you liked, hated, enjoyed.
Questions,
comments, concerns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's patch notes. Check out our channels, subscribe to them, do all the fun stuff, and until next time, we'll just see all you guys later, I guess.
Later.
Boy.